Yo. What's the deal? What's the deal? It's your boy Who is Hendo, and we back talking sports. So this was a good video that I wanted to do. Um, Shout out to Dreamers Pro. Go subscribe to his channel. He has a really good channel. We're gonna be reacting to some stuff that he said that he was getting information from a YouTube channel called Moon. I think he has 1 million subscribers. Go subscribe to his channel too. I'm talking like I got a big channel. But I've been knowing a little bit about the Disney situation and how it's trickling down to ESPN. But Dreamers Pro has really dived into, what I'm saying, the real reason why, what I'm saying, Disney and ESPN is failing. So, what I'm saying, basically BlackRock, who is a big stakeholder in Disney, what I'm saying, is, well, you gonna see. I'll let him say it.
So let me just read a little bit of what he had to say. Disney's former CEO stated that the company should be taking a stand on political issues and will no longer shy away from politics in the future. This would be a statement that will come back to bite Disney horrendously.
Let me tell you something. Anytime you dive more into politics as Disney can, but anytime that trickles down, politics and sports, it don't really mix, bro. They don't really mix because you have too many, different opinions, and fans don't want to hear that shit, bro. You want to hear about basketball, football especially, basketball, football, baseball, hockey, whatever your favorite sport is, bro. So the fact that Disney CEO is basically saying they're going to dive more into politics, it makes sense why, it makes sense why ESPN is falling off a cliff. But let's get more into it.
And it likely trickled down from BlackRock, one of Disney's top shareholders, holding 120 million shares within Disney.
So I'm sorry for pausing so much, but so basically Disney is doing whatever BlackRock says. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, shout out to Dreamers Pro and Moon for giving all this information and stuff like that. But I knew Disney owned ESPN and that they was losing money and everything. But this is way deeper. But BlackRock is basically telling Disney what to do, and then it goes down to ESPN, and you know what I'm saying, you get what you get with ESPN.
Now, to be clear, BlackRock is a powerful investment management fund overseeing approximately 10% of all stocks traded globally, which amount to about $10 trillion in assets.
That shows you how powerful they are. You know what I'm saying? That just shows you how powerful they are. If they have 120 million,
Bloomberg globally, which amount 10-player BlackRock is a powerful investment management fund overseeing approximately 10% of all stocks traded globally.
10% of all stocks traded globally. $10 trillion in assets. 120 million shares in Disney, which means if you want to be real, Disney do what the hell BlackRock says. So really, all this political mess and all this Malika Andrews mess, female empowerment, and you know what I'm saying, basically pandering and not letting people say what they want to say. It's coming from that. It's a chain. It's a chain of command that's going on,
which amount to about $10 trillion in assets. Bloomberg even referred to BlackRock as a, quote, a fourth branch of government. BlackRock's founder and CEO Larry Fink has personal connections with the former Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner, and BlackRock holds control over several major banks, which is why Fink is often considered the most influential man in America, because most investors and banks use BlackRock's ESG ratings to decide whether to invest in a company. And to be clear, an ESG rating, according to BlackRock, measures the company's exposure to long-term environmental, social, governance risks. These risks include things like energy efficiency, worker safety, and board independence, which can have significant financial implications if not properly managed.
And there you have it. The ESG ratings. You know what I'm saying? All in all, you can lose money. You can lose money if your ESG ratings are not properly managed, which is the reason why BlackRock is telling them, you know what I'm saying, to do everything that they're doing. I'm not all the way into ESG ratings and everything like that. Dreamers Pro is more, you know what I'm saying, how can I put, educated on this, you know what I'm saying, more than me. But all in all, it's the reason why they're telling ESPN to do what they're doing. I mean, Disney to do what they're doing. Disney goes to ESPN and tells them what they need to do to keep their ESG rating high, whether it be talk more about, whether it be don't say this, don't say that, talk more about politics, we're gonna get rid of this, rid of that. So
But then in 2018, the score underwent a change when Finks wrote a letter to all the companies under his influence stating that they must, quote, contribute to society or risk losing support, adding that, quote, society is demanding that companies, both public and private, serve a social purpose. And of course, Disney would do everything they can to satisfy its biggest investor. So it shouldn't be any.
well, there you have it. Then 2018, write a letter saying you must contribute to society. What does that mean? You must contribute to society. You know what that means. In society, feminism is real. In society, politics, of course, is real. You know what I'm saying? These are the things, you know what I'm saying, that are real and are in society. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying feminism is wrong. I'm not even trying to go into all of that because this is a basketball thing. But that's how you have people like Malika Andrews being able to say everything that she wants and go and check men on their own, go and check people that ESPN employees that's been there for years, like Stephen A. and Jalen Rose and so on and so forth. Well, Jalen Rose not there no more, and her to be able to check people like that.
Any shock that Disney has the second highest ESG rating in the entertainment industry, which is why today we see Disney at the forefront of recent push for social justice and progressivism. Now that the first cracks after this show, when Disney became increasingly political, opposing Florida's new public education bill, which prevented teachers from educating children below third grade about sex and gender ideology. Now, it's unclear why Disney is so opposed to this particular bill, or why multinational billion-dollar company that this and I question that, and really push their various agendas. And after listening to that, it made me think about a blow-up that I saw on television about 8 to 9 or maybe 10 months ago, which was centered on the Ime Udoka situation. I'm sure the majority of you guys remember the Ime Udoka situation. And essentially what happened was this. Malika Andrews was invited on ESPN First Take. This is when the thing was just like, the news had just come out. And she was invited on there to give her take because I believe she was also covering the story. And at the time, Stephen A. Smith put out a point, which was, number one, this situation took place between two consenting adults. Number two, it was an HR matter, and it should have never been made public. So then what happens? Malika Andrews then comes on television on his show and publicly tries to give him a flogging on his show,
Yep.
to the point where Stephen A. Smith himself had to push back on her on live TV and remind her that she was actually on his show. So what we want to do is want to play that quickly for you guys to give you guys a refresher, and then we're going to continue on with the show. Take a listen to that.
Stephen A., with all due respect, this is not about pointing the finger. Stop. What became apparent to me in this press conference is that we do not have all of the information here. And it was frustrating to me that the Celtics declined to elaborate or to give more specifics about what exactly the rule breaking was that led us to this point. So that, I just want to get that out of the way first. But to answer your...
And just so y'all know, this is why they go and tell their employees, don't question this, don't be on the devil's advocate of this political issue, don't say this about race and everything like that, read about race and this and that. This is why they tell all their employees that it's coming from Disney, which is coming from BlackRock, and it all has to do with the ESG rating. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that in 2018, like he said, Fink had wrote, you must contribute to society. This is going on in society right now where women, you know what I'm saying, you are really being, there's a lot of pushback going against saying anything about women or saying anything, you know what I'm saying, contrary to what a lot of people believe in America about race and everything like that. And it all ties back into ESPN failing because they have forgot who their core audience was and the people they like. That all the people that they're firing are the people that they like. Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, Max Kellerman. You know what I'm saying? Even Keyshawn Johnson. I liked him when he was talking football. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth.
To your question, Molly, I think what stood out to me, I think what stood out to me is that Brad Stevens, he was upset. That's what stood out to me about what he termed rampant Twitter BS is the word that he used, that women were unfairly dragged into this within the Celtics organization. You could see that Brad Stevens was visibly upset about this. And I also found that to be gross and unnecessary, that folks were bringing in the names and the images of women that is just not a fact. That was purely speculation. And so to me, that is what stood out. But the Celtics as an organization could have done more, and short of doing more ahead of this yesterday, to further blame women. That is not why we are here.
First of all, let me be very clear. I don't appreciate where you're going with that. I'm not blaming anybody but Ime Udoka. He deserves, the fact of the matter is, I've said he deserved to be fired if they were going to fire him. If you're not going to fire him, then don't fire him. My issue is all of this being publicized. The point that I'm trying to make is just like you're not mentioning. Excuse me. I listened to you. You're the one telling me to stop on my show. It ain't.
Women always do that, bro. That's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? She always does that for sure, for sure.
Ain't happening. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I've already said he deserves to be fired, or he deserves to be there and handle it internally and privately. If you're not going to handle it privately, if you're going to publicize it in that fashion, then obviously it provokes everybody wanting to know, okay, well, who are the parties involved? When you have Amina Smith in Boston and other women pointing out the fact that there were women, and my point is considering how pervasive this kind of stuff has existed in professional sports for many years. My whole point is that, excuse me, make sure that you handle it in the same fashion it has always been handled.
So you heard the exchange there.
So you heard it. That was an old blow up between Stephen A. and Malika Andrews, and it all makes sense now. you know what I'm saying, coming from BlackRock, coming from Disney, and why ESPN is undoubtedly failing. This has been Horrendous with another video.